This is the Herd Line News.
Daryl Morey is reportedly stepping down as the Rockets general manager. According to Woj, Morey approached Tillman Fertitta with the idea of leaving after the Rockets left the bubble. Both sides worked quietly through an exit agreement to end his 13 seasons running the franchise's basketball operations.
I think did I say this to you yesterday? The Houston Rockets is the worst good job in sports to coach.
Because we were talking about Ty Lue.
It's not going to work. Harden and Westbrook are going to eventually face teams in the playoffs, and they're just situationally not built to play together. They'll be fun. You'll win a bunch of games, and I think Ty Lue's a good choice. But I think that operation right now, I think you're kind of tied to Westbrook's contract. I think Harden, I had this conversation last night with somebody around the NBA. He's obviously an unbelievable scorer, but we've got like now history on the playoff stuff, and will he ever set a screen for somebody? Will he get back and guard the best player on the other team? So I think Daryl Morey's actually making the right move here. I really do.
Well, he's going to stay around in sort of an advisory role for a short period to help them hire the new head coach. They are reportedly planning to promote Executive Vice President of Basketball Operations Raphael Stone to General Manager and Eli Wittis to Assistant General Manager. So they may be promoting with in-house for the GM position. But Morey's going to work with them on the head coaching position.
He'll get a gig.
Well, so there's a couple things at play here. Obviously, everyone's going to refer to the China situation, which was a disaster. There's no other way to put it. It cost the league at least $400 million.
It was bad for Morey. It was bad
for the entire league.
It was bad for everybody.
I can't get on Twitter a day without somebody telling me how much the NBA doesn't care about China off their iPhone.
Yeah.
But that was obviously an issue. He has two college-age kids who are taking a year off from school because of the pandemic, so he may just be wanting to take a break and spend some time with them. I mean, you've had your daughter around, like, this is unprecedented times. It's like you would never ever get this opportunity to spend that much time with your kids in this situation. Also, he has a lot of other things going on, so there could have been multiple factors in this exit. Also, you know, they may have just reached the end of the road with what they were able to do. Like, we talk about the Rockets not being able to get over the hump. Obviously not all on Morey, but you know, sometimes just situations end.
Stuff happens.
Yeah, it's not that I didn't feel like this was coming, but I don't think it has to do with just the China situation.
No, I don't either.
Because the owner was very supportive of him throughout that as well.
Yeah, no, I just think sometimes in any business, Joy, things run their course.
Yeah.
And I think this Daryl he's going to get work. I know Daryl pretty well. He's a really good guy. He's very respected. Sometimes, you know, Pat Riley always says after 10 years, you're just white noise. Like, nobody listens to your message. And that's why Spoelstra, by the way, works now, because it's all new players. Spoelstra's got all these kids, so he gets like 9 more years of the message until they, like,
well,
okay.
That's why in college football you can be there for so long. You're getting
new kids every
year.
Right. So it doesn't mean it's the end of anything. Harden will still be great. The Rockets will still be viable. Morey will still get a job. Ty Lue, to me, is the best fit. Houston's going to be fine, but this time was coming.
And it's not like they didn't have success there. They had the league's longest consecutive playoff appearance streak with 8. They advanced every single year. They just never got over the hump.
Right.
So, I mean, obviously they didn't reach ultimate success of winning a championship, which was the expectation. But Morey will be fine, and the Rockets are moving in a different direction.
Right.
So the Jets moved on from Le'Veon Bell, but it doesn't sound like he'll be a free agent for long. Jeremy Fowler is reporting that Le'Veon has narrowed it down to 3 teams. He's choosing between the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Dolphins.
Oh, the Chiefs. They need a red zone running back.
His decision could come today. Le'Veon Bell and Patrick Mahomes just followed each other on Twitter.
Le'Veon,
something to that.
I know you're not watching. Le'Veon Bell, choose Kansas City. It's nothing against Brian Flores or Sean McDermott, defensive coaches. What did we say yesterday? If you're a running back or receiver, tight end, and Sean Payton or Andy Reid are like, we're kind of interested, go to Kansas City. Just go to, they could actually, he'd be a great red zone piece running back for them.
Could you? I mean, it's going to happen if he goes there because it's Andy Reid.
Oh, it's going to work in 2 weeks.
But it's going to work. He's going to have a tremendous rest of the season, possibly go to a Super Bowl, and you've got Adam Gase and the Jets sitting there doing what the Jets do. They'll be on the hook for $6 million in base salary for Bell this season. They also take a $15 million dead cap money hit this season and $4 million in 2021.
Joy, before Christian McCaffrey, Le'Veon Bell as a receiving running back was Christian McCaffrey. He was the best receiver at running back in the league. People said Le'Veon Bell could be a receiver. They say about Christian McCaffrey, he could be a receiver in the NFL.
He has amazing hands, but he has such a unique running style, just with that little delay and waiting for the blocks. He just needs to be in the right situation. He was in the right situation in Pittsburgh, wanted more money. It's understandable. You can do whatever you want with your career. The Jets is the Jets the right situation for anyone at this point? Who knows? But they are going to be paying him for a while, and any team that signs him can do so for the league minimum, although he'll likely get more. Finally, Baker Mayfield suffered a rib injury last weekend against the Colts, but he's confident he will be able to play through it. He plays the Steelers on Sunday, and Cam Hayward says Pittsburgh's defense is going to stick to their aggressive game plan against Baker.
I'm not going to sit there and tell you that I know, how bruised up he is. And at the end of the day, I'm just trying to inflict good punishment. We play a physical game. He's going to come out there and try to be a warrior for his team. But it's up to us to make him think about that injury during the game.
It's really interesting because the betting part of me likes Cleveland because I think they're a real team. They're much more disciplined. Pittsburgh has one unit, their front seven, that is so good. But I keep going back to this. Pittsburgh has beaten bad teams, and they're letting all of them hang around. They're letting everybody. They let a Denver team out with Jeff after the first month, and then there's always two or three that are close but not quite there. They miss a component. So this is my first Super Bowl bubble of the year. Here it is. This is official. The Rams, Bills, and Saints are close. In fact, the Rams and the Bills played to the last play of a game. In the AFC, it's New England with Cam, Baltimore, Pittsburgh, and Kansas City. And it just so happens in the NFC, it's Tom Brady, Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, and the Seattle Seahawks. I will say this morning, Green Bay to me feels like the best team in America and the least flawed team. And there's a reason for it. There's three stats that are very important, and Green Bay is really good at all of them. Number one, Green Bay leads the NFL in yards per play, almost 7 yards a play. What does that mean? They're explosive. They can get cheaper touchdowns, free touchdowns. They make things happen. Number two is third down conversion rate. They're top 5 in the NFL. What does that mean? Generally means you have a good offensive line, you get a push on third and short, you have a veteran quarterback who can audible in and out of trouble. They have Aaron Rodgers. And the third thing is what they call sack differential. They're top 3 in the NFL, meaning they get to your quarterback and you don't get to theirs. So those are three stats. They're very good. I do not believe they have a hole. I do worry about Devontae Adams' health, but every other team has a hole. Seattle and Tennessee in my bubble, neither has a pass rush. Let's be honest about Tampa Bay. There's some mobility issues with the quarterback they have, and their discipline is frighteningly bad at times with Tampa. New England, no deep threat. It tends to be kind of run-centric. Baltimore doesn't play well from behind, and Pittsburgh keeps beating bad teams and letting them stick around. Kansas City, why do they keep falling behind? It's almost as if psychologically Kansas City feels like, Patrick will save us. You can't keep falling behind by 10 and 14 points. That's just not the way it works. You can't do it in this league. You're going to end up facing with your defense and offense that just keeps the ball away and you lose games. So I think we have a best team in the NFL, Green Bay. I think we have close. Cleveland, Pittsburgh plays this weekend. If Cleveland wins, then I think I would get them closer to the bubble. But it's New England, Baltimore, Kansas City, Pittsburgh. And I've got some reservations on Pittsburgh, but I trust them right now defensively more than I do Buffalo's defense and LA's defense. And I think they're more explosive offensively, potentially, than New Orleans' offense. So my 8 are New England, Baltimore, Kansas City, Pittsburgh, Tampa Bay, Tennessee, Seattle, and the Green Bay Packers. Yes, I put Tennessee in there after they bludgeon Buffalo. What am I supposed to not be impressed by? They're doing everything well. They don't have a pass rush, but they do everything else really well. Here's Joy with the news.
No.